It's time for the mic drop. I'll end each show by going deep on one topic affecting our community in hopes we can all learn a little more. Now, in May of 2020, while at a party in a Miami, Florida apartment, 17-year-old Giselle Rengifo was shot by fellow 17-year-old Michael McGowan. When the police came, she was pronounced dead at the scene, and McGowan was arrested on one count of manslaughter. When questioned by detectives, he confessed that he had been holding the gun when it accidentally went off, sending a bullet into her head. Now, he was convicted as a youthful offender in the shooting death, and now, roughly 2.5 years later, a judge dealt him his punishment a few weeks ago, 1 year in prison to be served in a boot camp, followed by 4 years of probation. A sentencing decision that Giselle's family did not agree with. They were upset, to say the least, distraught and disturbed by a sentence that they felt was unfairly light, a fact that they let be known both inside and outside the courtroom. Now, we're going to show you a video of the scene that occurred after the sentence was given, because something happens during it that I want to highlight because I think it's important. It's going to sound choppy because the language is rough and we had to cut parts of it, but the visual is what's important. The young man with his back to us being pulled away from the courtroom by officers is Giselle's brother. As you can see, he's very upset, which is to be expected, as he's being led away by two officers, one black, one appearing white. He tells that officer not to grab his neck. Remember now, he's just watched his sister's killer get what he believes to be a slap on the wrist, but even so, he is cooperating. Now, as we're walking away, the black officer tells the other officer, "I got him," and at that point, it appears to me and everyone there that the officer erupts to the point that the black officer has to restrain him. And by him, I mean the other officer. Now we have a standoff in the courthouse between this grieving family and this officer. The question is why? This is neither the time nor the place for this officer to act in this manner. The officer attempts to defend his actions, but the audio isn't really clear as to what he said. But what really can he say? An understandably emotionally distraught young man who was allowing himself to be led away has to now navigate the emotions of the supposedly trained professional. What is the difference between these two officers? I assume they've had the same training. So why did only one feel empathy towards the young man while the other attempted to manhandle him? The only conclusion I can come to is the obvious. His race marked him as a threat. And if that black officer hadn't been there to intercede, then this family tragedy might have been compounded. And for what? That to me is what effective policing looks like. I applaud this officer for doing his duty, leading with empathy, an emotional response that most seem to lack. Let's hope that his actions didn't earn him any repercussions. But I've heard enough about the thin blue line and the blue wall to know that probably wasn't the case. Which is why we need more officers like this one, so this becomes the rule instead of the exception.